So you're either the CEO of a small, medium business, or you're responsible for the IT running for a small, medium business, and you get a complaint from an end user. My computer's slow. Okay, here's the thing. When employees can't produce quickly enough because one of their critical tools, which is their computer, isn't performing fast enough, that's a serious issue. When they're just complaining to complain, maybe not so much. You need to take it seriously because lost productivity is money. More importantly, it's time. And time is something we just don't have enough of. If you're the internal IT person, hopefully you have enough tools that you're actually monitoring the computers. You know whether the CPU is under stress, whether it doesn't have enough memory, the hard drive is slow, doesn't have a solid state drive. You should be able to tell whether the computer itself is slow, but what about everything else? Let's take a walk. When the end user complains about their system being slow, they're just talking about the results of whatever it is they're trying to do, not necessarily the system. In order to actually track it down, you need to look at all of the components. It could be the wireless access point up in the ceiling is having problems. Or it could be problems with the switches. In both of those cases, you could actually have a lot of users having a lot of problems because these are devices that actually control the networking traffic between everything within your organization. But that's just communication between devices inside your network. What about outside your network? Remote users, remote desktops, internet connections. We could be talking about your firewall, your routers, or the ISP devices that they provide for fiber or cable connections. How do you keep an eye on all of those devices, often made by different manufacturers, and often no common interface? So we've talked about the problem. The problem is there's devices all over the place, and they're all made by different manufacturers and look and behave differently for different purposes. What's the solution? That's our next webinar topic, monitoring stuff. It's going to be on Thursday, February 25th, at 1 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be a 30 by 30 minutes of presentation, and then we're going to open the floor and the mic's up. We're all going to talk about our best practices, what works, what doesn't work. Oh, and we also will talk a little bit about polar bears. That's right, one of our primary partners, Avik, will be joining us. This is not a sales pitch, but we're going to talk about strategies. How do we manage all this stuff? How do we monitor all this stuff? And how do we minimize complaints about users saying their computer's slow? There's a link in the comments. Join us.